We're joined in the media center by our funny car winner, Robert Hight, his third Gainesville win, 37th of his career, first win of the season. Robert, talk about that win. I mean, what a great way to get the season on the East Coast at least started off, and an early win for you guys this year.
Yeah, definitely. It's we've had a great race car the first two races, so we actually felt that we let a couple slip by that we actually could have won. So to come in here and actually get it done, and to get it done with Brittany, both of us leaving here with the points lead, man, it doesn't get any better than this. It's been a lot of hard work, and it's finally paying off.
Any better than this? Is this the biggest moment, you think, not just your career, but John Force's career?
I'd say this is pretty big for John. You know, especially with all the work that we've went through to get these race cars where they need to be and be competitive. We were definitely dejected last year, and you know, going into the final two races of the year, not in contention for the championship, that's pretty painful. And that was pretty good motivation, you know, all winter long to put the right teams and the right people and all the hard work that everybody's done to get back here. It's very rewarding. So it's Alan Johnson coming on board, and you know, I've never seen Mike Neff more focused ever. He is he wants to win. He's got something to prove.
How good do you feel for Brittany getting that first win?
That was so exciting. You know, and I tried to tell her at the other end, I said the next one's going to come a lot easier. And you know, it's pretty funny. She says she still gets more nervous for first round than she did the final. She's been going to a lot of finals, and I mean, she's never been in the points lead. She's got a great race car, great team, great sponsor. Tell you what, that car is going to be right there at the end of the year.
You touched on this earlier, but how much of a difference does Alan Johnson make for that team?
But it's huge. I mean, 2 final rounds in a row, and you know, doing it in dominant fashion, running well. It's not blowing up parts. She's doing a good job driving, and Alan Johnson really fits into this team very well. So it's exciting, and he's only going to help all of our teams out. And you know, that's what John Force Racing is all about, working together.
What's it going to be like in the shop tomorrow and Tuesday?
Oh, I don't think it can get any better than this. You know, John, John is very happy, and I mean, this saved his day. He was pretty dejected after his second round loss. So to see him and Lori and Courtney down at the other end, that was pretty awesome. But you know what? We're gonna celebrate tonight, but when we get back to the shop, there's a lot of work to be done because we got to go to Vegas and do the same thing.
Robert, this is your third win at this event in the last 5 years. What is it about Gainesville Raceway that kind of brings out the best in you and your team?
You know, the first 5 or 6 years I came here, I don't even know if I won a round. It was, I just had a heck of a time here. But then when you start winning, Mike Neff has won here before. I think Mike Neff won here twice. And it's just kind of funny. Sometimes, you know, you have racetracks that you just do well at. And this is one of them now. And you know, I'm very fortunate to be driving for Neff. And this is my second win in Gainesville with Mike Neff. This is a major race. You know, if you look at the majors in golf, this is a major. You know, the Pomona race, the beginning of the year. You go to Gainesville's a major, Englishtown, New Jersey. You know, Indy, obviously, it's our crown jewel, and then Pomona at the end of the year. Those are the ones you want to win. And to win a major here, you know, the East Coast kickoff, pretty rewarding.
Were there any rounds, anything in any of those rounds that actually had you kind of choking for a second? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it?
Semifinals. I didn't have lane choice against Chad Head, and we go up there, and Caps and Beckman both smoke the tires. Jim Head decides he wants to change lanes. Mike Neff decides he wants to peel a nut off the clutch. And it's like, there's no time for this, okay? But Mike Neff is always cool. You'll never see him panic, and that helps the team. Because if you have a crew chief that's panicking and hurry up, get this one, you know, it just doesn't do any good. And he calms these guys. You can do it. Let's get this done. You know what you're doing. And Jim Head started their car, and we still didn't have the cover on the bell housing. And everybody did their job. I was pleased with them. I had all the most confidence. And go up there, did a real short burnout, backed up, did not want to hold that team up. And I was the first one to light the pre-stage light, so we didn't hold them up.
Okay, you talk about running with Ron there in the last round, you know, the finals.
Yeah, when you race Ron Capps, he's been doing this a lot of years. I think he's number 2, you know, all-time funny car wins. He's the best, okay? He's one of the best out here. And to get up there and get a win against him in a pedal contest, that's pretty rewarding. You know, as a driver, it's fun to win those every once in a while. You know, you want to go out there and run low ET, but when you can win it, pedaling it, especially against Ron Capps, pretty awesome. And like this gentleman was saying, he said it was so funny to watch all of our team stand behind me and be so excited. Then they run over to the other lane to get ready for Britney. And actually all the fun is back there on the starting line. You're down there after you win a race and you're all by yourself, and all these guys are having so much fun partying behind you, and you got to get ready to do an interview.
So, did you watch Brittany's run when you were
On TV, on the monitor at the other end, yep. Yep,
what
I
would-
saw Terry McMillen having some issues, and it was short fuse, and I just knew today was her day.
So your first reaction when you saw her get the light?
Oh, it was pretty cool. She came up and gave me a big hug. This was a big day. I remember my first win, and she'll never forget it.
Get them both up here at the same time.
Ready to come up real quick?
Congrats.
There we go.
You're up.
She's not letting go of that trophy.
So we're joined obviously by Brittany Force right now. It is her first career win, her second consecutive final round. This is also marks the first time John Force Racing has doubled up in the nitro category. And like Robert said, she does leave here as the top fuel points leader. You were close last week. You've been close weeks before. Excuse me. What does it mean to finally get that W next to your name?
You know, I've been chasing this for quite a few years. This is my 4th season in Top Fuel, so, you know, I've been wanting it since day one, and it took a lot of work and a lot of time to get here. It's definitely not as easy as you think it is, but I have so many great people around me. I have a great sponsor with Monster Energy, and great team with Alan Johnson and Brian Houston, and every single one of my crew guys, so I'm always confident in them every single weekend, and this weekend was it for us.
How much does Robert's been obviously instrumental with this team through the years, and to be able to get, you know, that double up, I'm sure you'd like to have your dad up here or even your sister, but, you know, have Robert up here to get that, what does that feel like?
It's awesome for John Force Racing to have, you know, a funny car and a Top Fuel dragster in the winner's circle. It's pretty cool to double up. We've never done that. This is the first Top Fuel win for John Force Racing, so I couldn't be more excited to be up here next to Robert. He's, you know, I go to my dad, I go to Courtney, I go to Robert all the time, and Robert's the calmest one to talk to. If I ever have advice, he gives me a direct answer. He's not all over the place, so he's definitely helped me out over the years, and I wouldn't be here without him, so thanks for all your help.
How emotional was your dad?
He seemed a little emotional down at the other end. He came down and gave me a big hug, and he's just proud. He's wanted this for me. He's wanted it, you know, for all of John Force Racing and our team, and he's known how bad I wanted it. So he was very excited, and I think it was a very proud moment for him. It was a proud moment for me, so I know he's right there supporting me.
And we now know that you have 3 people on the scooter.
That's right.
Yeah.
He can
That's
fit
right.
3 people on that. It was amazing.
He'll surprise you all the time.
Brittany, did the close call in Phoenix drive you that much more for this weekend?
Absolutely. I've said, you know, back a few years ago when I was in my first final round, I got out on the other end, and I was excited. I mean, I wanted to win, but I was excited that I made it to a final round. And as those final rounds kept coming, and you know, that's where we ended. We didn't take it all the way. They got a little bit tougher and tougher. And last weekend in Phoenix, I really thought it was our day. I thought our team was going to go all the way and take home that win, and it was definitely disappointing. So it feels good, you know, to finally bring home the win. Our car was on fire all weekend. Went straight down there, had great runs, and this is a very proud moment for me and all of John Force Racing, the Monster Energy team. It took everyone to get us here.
Were you nervous heading to the final at all? And what did Alan say to you before he went down the track?
You know, he came over and spoke to me every single run, and it really helped. Before every single run, he gave me a high five or a fist pump and said, you know, go after it. You know, just do what you're doing. And on the last run, he said, girl, you've got us here this far, and he's like, do it again. Do exactly what you're doing again. And I really needed that, because sometimes when you pull up there, it really is, You know, it's all mental, it's all in your head. And, you know, having confidence and feeling that you can do it is a big part of it. And sometimes you just get screwed up and you'll see it up there on the starting line. And other times when you have the faith and, you know, really go after it, you'll see it on the board.
He has mentioned, Alan has mentioned that one of the things that he had to work with you on was not going up there with the attitude that I've got a good car, don't mess it up. He goes, you have to go up there and say, I've got a good car, let's win with it. Don't try not to lose, try to win with it. He says, if you're not a racer, you don't understand it. Was that something that?
Yeah, we've talked a lot, and he's always said, you know, you have to go up there positive every single time. I know I have a good team behind me. I'm confident that they put everything into this race car, and the car is going to go down the track. And it feels good to have that behind me. And I have to go up there and give them the best job that I can, do the best job that I can. You know, on the starting line, keeping the car straight, getting it down the racetrack, and turning on that win light.
Somewhere about 5 years ago, you went to your mom and you said, Mom, Dad's trying to get me into Top Fuel. I don't want to do that. How do you feel now?
I don't know if I ever said I didn't want to do that. But I was in A Fuel at the time, and people asked me, are you going to go into Top Fuel? And I always said, no, you people are crazy. I've stood at the 1,000-foot marker, quarter mile back then, when those cars would blow past you, and I thought every single one of them was insane. And it surprises me more than anything that I'm driving a Top Fuel car. I mean, I thought I was going to stay in A Fuel, but the opportunity came along to jump in a Top Fuel car, and I'll try anything once. So I said, sure, let's do it. And when it came down to it, I was like, oh man, what did I get myself into? I was terrified. And, you know, it took a few months, you know, working my way down the racetrack, and it was when I made my first full pass. I got out on the other end, I knew everything I'd gone to school for, you know, all my plans, I knew they completely changed. I knew they were out the window, and I knew I was going in a different direction, and, you know, starting a career in the Top Fuel, my Top Fuel car.
If I don't think I'm wrong here, but I went through the each round. You had the low ET in all four elimination rounds today.
I did not know that. I just found out what I ran on that last run, so I'm still figuring it all out. But like I said, we had a great race car all weekend, and it feels good to know that it just went down there every single run.
Robert, if you could give her a piece of advice right now, what would it be?
Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, like I said to her, the next one's going to come a lot easier. And what she said earlier about confidence, you know, until you actually win a race, you don't know that you can do it. There's always that element of doubt. And now she knows she can do it, okay? She knows she's got a great car. She's going to believe in herself more. And the rest of these Top Fuel guys better watch out.
Did you feel a little twinge beating Terry?
What's that?
Did you feel a little twinge beating Terry?
I didn't care who was in the lane next to me as long as we turned on that win light, and that's what's the most important thing. And like I said, I felt good going up every single run. I wanted to do my job as a driver for my team. I wanted to know that I was pushing and, you know, putting everything into it just like them. And, you know, we did it all together.
Just a quick side note, Brittany, this was Brittany's 75th race. For her first win, that's also when John Force won his first race, was in his 75th
Really?
race.
Wow.
Took him 9 tries, didn't take you quite that many, but there's a little, she only had 142.
Wow, that's tough.
Brittany, was there a low point in the last 4 years that you thought, I need to find something else to do, I can't seem to close to do it?
You know, there's definitely those doubts. I think anybody faces that in any career, in work, in school, whatever. I think, you know, you doubt yourself. You ask yourself, you know, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Is this for me? Because there were so many times where we came so close. There were so many times where I completely screwed up and costed, you know, the entire team a round win or an entire win. And, you know, you just have to put it beside you. You have to learn from it. And that's I always try to put a positive spin on everything. I always try to look at it and find the positive in it and move on. Learn from it and move on. And, you know, last weekend was tough, but I told myself, we're going to start over when we come out here at Gainesville. I'm going to do the best job that I can. You know, I practiced on my tree all weekend long and you know, sat in the car and just mentally went over everything like I was going down the racetrack, and it all seemed to play out and work.
Mom, Dad, and Courtney piled onto the scooter and headed down there. What were their reactions when they saw you?
Well, Courtney looked like she was in tears. She had her sunglasses on, so it was hard to tell, but she was very excited. My mom was screaming, jumping up and down, and my dad actually didn't say much for once. He was a little speechless, he was a little emotional, and I don't even think he said anything. He gave me a hug, but they were very excited for me, and I was excited to have every single one of them here.
There's 243 trophies at John Force. Only one says Top Fuel.
I know.
But the way you're hanging on to it, are they going to get it?
Nope, I'm taking this home with me. It's very exciting. It's the first Top Fuel, like you said, win. So it's a big deal to all of us.
So that was my question. Is there a special place waiting for that Wally and that medal?
I haven't thought about it yet. It's probably going to go in my office, or I even said, you know what, I'm at home more. I'd rather see it every day at home.
Okay.
Brittany, your mom went in the Hall of Fame this week. Does that make it a little more special?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that went on this weekend. We were very proud of, her to receive that award. We were all there. She was excited, and she got up and, gave a great speech, and we put together a video for her. So it was, we were very proud of her. She's, been here since day one. She's been supported us through everything. The biggest role she plays is she helps us deal with Dad. She's the only one that will sit down, and she always takes our side, which is nice. But it's a special weekend for all of us.
So yeah, a little bit different question. Robert, you're president of the organization. Okay? What does this mean to you as president to know that everyone who races there are winners?
Oh, it's very proud, but truthfully, there's a lot of good people that work for John Force Racing, and that's why John's been a champion. He's surrounded himself with good people all these years, and we work together as a team, and it's just amazing. Honestly, I thought it was going to happen last week. I thought in Phoenix, John seems to have every big win happen with him winning. And I just knew last week it was going to be him and Britney doubling up for the first time. I'm pretty proud that it was Britney and I. And we've got, like I say, we're gonna party tonight and celebrate. But there's a lot of work to be done. Guarantee all these other teams, they're out there. They're probably going to be testing tomorrow. They're coming after us.
How do you feel about both of you being in the tracks to shootout early in the season? No stress, nothing to worry about, anything.
Unbelievable for me. I mean, last year I went down to the final race where you could claim points, got the win in Brainerd and the final spot, and I don't ever want to do that again. So get it this early in the year is pretty important.
Yeah, it feels great to be in that track to shootout. I didn't even think about it until Alan, we were walking off stage, and Alan said it, and I threw my arms up. I was so excited that we got in because I'd never even crossed my mind. I know my team will be really excited about it because I won't make them dress up in cheerleader outfits and wigs this year, so they're excited too.
What did Alan say to you after the race?
You haven't
I
even seen him,
have not seen Alan yet.
Great, thank you very much.
I was talking to
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Alan Reinhardt.
Oh, okay.